All right, good morning, Keller Williams, and welcome to day 15, where we talk about finding comparables in our local MLS. So, as we said before, this is FlexMLS, which is for our local market area. So, first thing we do is we find the tool, we log into the MLS and we find the toolbar and we click on Quick Search. And when that opens, just like before, we're going to have this window open with the map and 46,000 listings, and we're just going to click close to get that out of the way. And then in the bottom right, there it's kind of hard to see, but you'll have these tools at this toolbar over here on the right. You're going to click on this red pen. And when that comes up here, you're going to put in the address of the property that you wish to compare other sold properties to. So this would be our subject property, the property that we're going to do the market analysis for. So we're going to do the market analysis on 43092 Armonia Court in India. And we're going to click locate after we've got all that information. The system is then going to pull up the property with a pin for us, and we're going to simply say use this location, and then we can create a radius search. Now, as you can see, this is a pretty densely populated area. So if we went out 1 mile, that's probably going to be way too big. So what would happen if we did like a quarter of a mile and we said create the radius? That does a pretty good job. So if we wanted that circumference, then that's what we would use if we felt like that was comfortable. Now, let's say that we had something that wasn't necessarily so cut and dry as this, and this really wasn't going to work for us. What we would then do is we could click on close. And if we wanted to change our methodology here, we could come over here on the left, see where it says residential, view results for 15. We've got the shape here as a circle. You see how when you highlight it, it turns yellow. All you'll do is click the little X, and then that gets rid of that circumference and puts you back to this screen. You then click close. Notice our pin hasn't gone anywhere. So we can then zoom in on our pin. You can also just put the address in again if you want as well, and that'll hone you in. But once you get to where you have your neighborhood, where you feel like you're comfortable in your area, then what you could do is over here on the left, I like the polygon. You could use a square or a circle, but you could also just use the radius. That would be just as easy. So instead, this property is a little bit weird, and so we don't want to have all this blank space. So we're just going to click on the polygon, and then we're going to just do our best to encompass the neighborhood, because remember the first 3 rules of real estate: location, location, location. So we want to make sure we have the right location. So we'll plant by just clicking the mouse. That will put 1 pin, and then we're going to drag the other pin to where we want it to go. Let's say we want it to end here just behind Fiore and Aramo Way, and then we're going to cruise all the way up here to Aqua Court, and then over past Point, and then right there, and then we can come down if we want, and then double click. Now we have our entire market area for this little neighborhood that we're going to be, for Lago Vista, that we're going to be doing our CMA for. So you can see here that we've got on our left, we've got our results. So we've got our actives, there are 18 actives. So now we know our competition in this particular neighborhood, there are 18 pieces of real estate that are for sale in this one area. If I click on status, I can come down and I can highlight pending. Now I can know how many are pending. There are 2 properties that are pending. How many are closed? I click on closed, and that's going to give me 4. There are 4 closed. Now the question is how far back. So if you look further down, you can see the dates. I want to bring one particular thing to your attention. See these little black arrows that are down through the middle that are separating the words and the boxes? If you click on these arrows, it'll change it from a date range to days back. So if you would rather, instead of having a date range, go by number of days closed, you could do that by simply clicking this and clicking on the number of days or weeks. You can change it from days to months to weeks to years, however you want to play that, and so that it's best for you. I only want to look at the closed properties right now, so I'm going to unclick the pending, and I'm going back 183 days, making sure that I'm getting a good snapshot of the whole market. I like to start with like 92 days. And by the way, the reason we're going a couple days past that 3 or 6 month mark is in the event that the property closed and maybe it was a weekend or the listing agent wasn't able to get that closed listing right at the 90-day mark, you might miss something by a day or two, but it would still be a legitimate comparable. So as you can see, I went 92 days back, and that's 3 properties. That's enough for me to begin my market analysis. I have 3 what seem to be good comps in my immediate area in the last 3 months, in the last 90 days, which is what the appraiser is going to put more weight to anything that's closed in the last 90 days in the most immediate area. So that's how you would start your MLS. Obviously, we're going to have more videos on more extensive way to how to actually conduct the market analysis, but this should get you started on how to search for a property in the MLS, and then how to locate a specific one, subject property for a market analysis, and then how to create that search for the comparable properties that are around that area. And then you could click, I didn't tell you this, click on view results, and then you would have your 3 results that you could begin to go through the process, which we will do on the next video on how to actually do the market analysis. Okay. Make it a great rest of the day.